top of the morning, and it is a beaut.
And the hope of the Irish as the future champion of the world.
A podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio.
Welcome to the Barry J. McDonald podcast. The place where dreams get dusted off and acted on. Because life is too short. We're living on a rock that's flying through space, and hey, what the hell else were you going to do with yourself here?
Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very, very welcome to today's podcast episode. So I'll ask you that question right now. Are you good enough to start? Are you good enough to start blogging? Are you good enough to start podcasting? Are you good enough to do TikTok videos? Are you good enough to do YouTube videos? Now, if you're honest, and even if you don't say it out loud, you can be guaranteed that there's a part of your mind right now that's saying, no, I'm not good enough. I don't know enough. I can't begin yet. And right now you are holding off from doing those things because you feel that you're not good enough. Now, how do I know that? Because go back a number of years, and that's the place I was in. You know, I was kind of sitting on the sideline of the internet, watching people write fiction, do podcasts, do videos, all the things that I wanted to do, or at least try out to see if I could do them. And I kept saying to myself, Barry, you're not good enough to do that. You're not good enough to write fiction. You're definitely not good enough to have a podcast. You're definitely not good enough to do videos. And in my head, I stupidly believed that there was a standard that I needed to meet. You know, it was almost like I was kind of revving the engine in my head up to a certain level before I would allow myself to let the handbrake off. You know, I was reading the books. I was watching the videos. I was cramming my head so full of knowledge, thinking that there would be this magical level that I would reach, and then I would take action. And as well, too, I was scared of people out there. I was scared of this invisible crowd that had this standard that I would need to meet before they would allow me to do those things. Now, you might be thinking the same way as well, too. You may be thinking, there's somebody out there on the internet who shouldn't allow me to write fiction. You know, they shouldn't allow me to blog. They shouldn't allow me to do TikTok videos. They shouldn't allow me because I'm not good enough. But really, is that true? Because, you know, when you think you're good enough, when you've crammed all the books in, you can be guaranteed that what you'll do next is you'll raise the bar a little bit higher. You're going to say to yourself, I need to read more on this topic. I need to study more videos. And then when you reach that level, you'll up it again. You'll raise the bar another level. And you'll keep doing that, and you won't take action. So what I would say to you is, instead of thinking, you know, am I good enough to do that? How about today, seeing how badly you can do it today? Because when you think about it, someone who's bad at something, but has taken action on it, will eventually get good at that thing over time. And you find that somebody who's bad at something, but at least taken action, is moving toward the goal that they want. They're going to get closer to being a better fiction writer, a better podcaster, a better TikToker, or whatever. Because at least they're walking towards that. Whereas stupidly, you, and maybe right now, and I know back years ago, I was almost like a jogger. You know, I wanted to run, but I was jogging in place. I was thinking to myself, well, if I jog here long enough, eventually I'll just take off and I'll run. But I wasn't covering any distance. I wasn't doing anything. It was all this kind of busyness, but busyness that wasn't taking me anywhere. Whereas if I had maybe just ditched all those books, not watched the videos, and said, what the hell, I'll do a podcast today, let's see what'll happen. Or if I said to myself, let's do fiction today, write a fiction book, what the hell, see what happens. But again, unfortunately, for many years I didn't do that. And if you are like that right now, what I would say to you is, you'll never feel you're good enough. And if you feel you're never good enough, you'll never take action. And a crazy thing too that you will find out when you actually take action and when you put the content out there, when you record the podcast, the videos or whatever, you'll find that there is no secret, group that you needed to, to appease or to reach a standard that they have. You know, when I released my fiction book, nobody in the world cared that I released a fiction book. Again, when I released the first couple of podcast episodes here, nobody cared. I had a few listeners, but the world didn't stop. Nobody paid attention to me. And you're going to find that too. That we believe that the whole world's going to stop. that's going to pay attention to us, that's going to turn on us and say, you shouldn't do that because you're not good enough at podcasting, or you're not good enough at writing fiction, or you shouldn't be in TikTok. No. You will find some people will probably put negative comments under your content, but just forget those people. But I mean, the other people that you're scared of, the other people that you think you need to keep happy, there is no one out there. But again, we tell ourselves those lies so much that we believe them, that we feel that we're boxed in, when really it's us putting ourselves in an imaginary box. We've built this box around ourselves. Sometimes we put that box there because we're scared. We don't want to get outside of comfort zone. We don't want to make a mistake. But as I said, when you're bad, when you're terrible, at least you're walking in the right direction. And you will find that if you're bad, eventually you will get okay. And then you'll get good at it. And then you get great at it. But if you feel that you need to be good before you start, that's going to take a long time. That's going to be a lot of wasted time when you could actually be putting, miles on the clock right now, gaining some experience, being bad, learning from the things that you're bad at, improving those things, and then getting better at it. So again, I'll ask you today, are you good enough to start? If you said no, I totally disagree with you. You are good enough. You just need to start, not care what anyone else thinks, but just start and know that the more reps you put in, the more time you spend doing it, the better you'll get at it, and eventually, then you'll be good at it. But you'll be good taking action, rather than good and not taking action. Give that some thought today. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye. Would you like to know how I went from being a lowly shelf stacker, depressed, no confidence in himself, and how I went from that to becoming a popular children's author, and then on to even greater things, recording and selling my own digital products? If you'd like to find out how I did it, and if you would like to do the same yourself, if you head over to Writecom, that's WRITECOME.com, you'll find a great free report over there, which is called the Online Business Manifesto. And in that report, I'm going to show you the journey I went on from the beginning to where I am right now. And I'm going to show you the 3 business secrets I learned along the way. Now, these secrets aren't secrets that most people talk about. Some people don't even realise that they exist. So if you head over to Writecom, download the free report, you are going to be miles ahead of everyone else who has an online business. Have a lovely day, and I hope you enjoy this episode.